Hey guys, welcome to another review. Just sneaking in another quick one while she's in the bath, so I'm going to have to be a little bit quiet. Right, what I'm doing today is G2 Vapor Blue Pop Shock from e-cig Island. That's where it's come from. Now, the price on this from e-cig Island is €17.5. Price in the UK, you can get it in the UK if you have a look for it. It's more expensive, it can depend on how much you're ordering and whether postage costs outweigh, the additional cost of the bottle. Now, description on this is D-Shock is true to raspberry. Blue Pop Shock takes the background from D-Shock and twists the raspberry until it turns into a blue raspberry. This reminds most people of their favourite blue raspberry lollipop that they enjoyed as a kid. So obviously I wanted to try this one. Big fan of raspberry, big fan of lollipops. Let's just face it, it's sweets, we're all on it. So that's what we're after. In varying nicotine strengths available. I do just want to point out as well, I love the presentation of these G2 e-liquids, especially the ones that aren't their prime range. I mean, I know like autofocus is off, so that's doing me no bloody favours, but it looks cool as hell. Glass bottle, glass dripper. I love that. So yeah, that was just a quick little rant. If you are American guys, I know you guys are struggling to keep up with how I talk and how quickly I talk, and I promise you I'm trying not to. So this is me trying. Right, so raspberry lollipop, that's what I'm talking about. I've got this today in two things, in fact. An iGo S on top of an Astro clone on a 1 ohm coil, and I've got this in a Silicon Mr V3. These are both freshly charged batteries. Again, that's around a 1 ohm coil, but we're in a Silicon Mr. Now, the reason I've done that is because I just did a re-wick of this on camera and I wanted to review this juice. I put it in this and it tasted completely different to how it has for this entire sort of 4 days that I've had the juice. So I needed to sort of refresh it and make sure that that was the case. So I'm going to have a couple of puffs on both and I'll let you know. First up the iGo, obviously. Right, okay, I prefer it in the iGo. Now what I get instantly is a raspberry, really nice, really refreshing, not a stupidly strong flavour, but strong enough that you're tasting it. So I'm getting kind of a sweet raspberry, which is exactly what it's supposed to be. Definitely getting blueberry. I had this in a K-Fun the other day, and blueberry was the prominent flavour. It was one I was tasting most. It was coming second out of the two flavours, raspberry and blueberry, but it was most definitely the strongest of the two by a considerable amount. In this iGo S and in this Silicon Mister, it's definitely not the case. It's a more balanced e-liquid on this build. The K-Fun was around a 1 ohm coil. Again, that tends to be where I vape, but if you've got one, you know what they do to flavours. Some they enhance, some they knock off, and some they completely change, and this is obviously one of them e-liquids. So yeah, really sweet, really kind of moorish raspberry with just a little blueberry hint right at the back in this iGo S, and that tastes lovely. PG-VG ratio on this one, guys, is 60-40 that I've heard. It's not actually spec'd on e-cig Island, so I don't usually disclaim it unless it's on the website, but that's what information I have found. Yes, very nice. Right, do 2 marks out of 10, guys. 1 for does it match its description, and then 1 for my personal take on this e-liquid. Now, does it match its description's a bit vague because it kind of means you have to have tried D-Shock before you'll know, what happens with it. But, does it taste effectively like them little raspberry lollipops you got that are colour blue? Yes, it does. It does. It's not quite as sweet as them, which is a good thing because they would be very sickly if you're using it all day. But it most certainly does taste like those sweets that we all liked when we were kids. So for the description, I'm going to give it a 10. I am going to give it a 10. I just want to point out the throat hit on this is varied depending on what device you've got it in. The K-Fun, it was like a 6 out of 10 for me. In that dripper, an iGo S, which is quite a throat hit enhancing dripper, that for me is a 2. So bear that in mind. And obviously I'm a completely useless tool because I'm giving you completely different results depending on what I'm using it in, but my take is definitely a raspberry blueberry. My personal view on this e-liquid, it's a 10. It's a very refreshing, raspberry blueberry vape. I love the raspberries. Blueberry I enjoy, and blueberry's very popular out there. So combining the two seems to really work. Got to admit, I was hoping for a bright blue e-liquid. It wasn't to be the case, unfortunately, but it does definitely deliver on flavour. Now, €17.5 translates, guys, if you were wondering, into today's exchange rates, £13.97 for 30ml of e-liquid. So it's on the higher scale of things, certainly, but it's definitely not the highest e-liquid in terms of cost that I've come across. So I mean, if you're a fruit vapor, or if you like the sound of this, definitely give it a go, because it's well worth a pop. Purely to see if you like it, and see. Let me know down there what you think this tastes like, because for me it varies depending on what atomizer I put it in. And I know that is the case with all e-liquids, but this one seems quite drastic. So sorry, a little bit there. So yeah, please let us know. I'm going to cut this one now before all of the light fades and I have to get the lamp out. So yeah, basically I plan on sneaking in that Torrewick dripper because I wasn't quite sure about things, so my light is rapidly depleting. Other than that, guys, thank you very much for putting up with this idiot waffling a load of drivel at you. Go and check it out. I'll link e-cig Island down there. See, look, that's how bad it is. I have to have my screen on. I'll link e-cig Island down there for you if you wanted to head on and check it out itself. Or if you want to find it in the UK, you can get this at UK e-cig store. But again, the price is slightly higher depending on what you want to do and how many you want to buy. It might be worth going to the Irish site. But chances are the postage difference is probably not going to be unless you're buying a good 5 or 6 bottles. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I have been Mr. Proton, and I shall see you soon.